This is Bad Movies We Love, part of the Shice Podcast Network.
We're back. It is me, your host, Nick Scheist, and we are here for another episode of Bad Movies We Love, but this is actually episode 2, season 1. We're working on it. I'm working on it. Getting it together. Getting it rolling. This week is another episode from the first season being brought over, ported over, if you will, to use some video game lingo. I don't think that's the right way to use that word either, but I'm still gonna do it. Anyway, I had the pleasure of sitting down with my friend Erikson, who I've known for many, many years, and we went to high school together. Both grew up loving weird action movies from the mid-90s, and there are a few action movies that fit that bill better than Demolition Man. Hello once again, everybody. I'm joined today in an impromptu edition of Bad Movies We Love. My guest is the Mongoose, the Phantom Menace, Mr. Erikson, a good friend of mine for many, many years. Welcome to the studio. You're the first in-studio guest I've had in quite some time.
I mean, I can imagine, given the circumstances regarding, the world, but it's a lot more natural when you're talking to the person that's right in front of you. I love that every nickname you've ever given me, or that I've ever been bestowed on, has just been poured on in that's a couple introduction.
We could probably find some more, but we're not gonna spend the majority of our time doing that. So you and I had brainstormed an idea like this a long time ago, and it was the inspiration to kind of get me to the point where I recorded the first episode of this show yesterday. I'm not done with it yet, but here we are. You're here to join us, so why don't you tell me a little bit about why you chose Demolition Man as our go-to for this one?
Gosh, we were... Ever since high school, I think that's been a movie that we cannot stop loving that movie and talking about it and referencing it. In fact, Alistair Overeem in the UFC, his the only reason we even liked that guy, of course he was knocking people out like crazy, but it came from his nickname, the Demolition Man.
Huge bonus.
We like that guy now. But it came from that. It's a movie that is when you watch it, you don't know if you're watching a comedy, an action movie. But it gives you the best of all genres, I think. And it's a 14-year-old's just wet dream of a movie, and not sexually, just everything that a boy going through puberty would want to see in a movie. That movie delivers.
I think we're gonna get a lot of movies like that in this. Or in this show. We did Roadhouse for the first episode, and similarly, it kind of hits on a lot of those adolescent notes, I would say, and it was one of those movies that I said is, I forgot what network it was, but it's movies for guys who like movies.
Yeah.
TNT, AMC back in the day, something like that.
It's got to be TNT. Honestly, that girls love Patrick Swayze because of Ghost, guys like him because of Roadhouse. And I think that's the best way I can kind of characterize Patrick Swayze's appeal to all audiences.
Yeah, and he carried that movie, to be honest. It's pretty action-packed, and it's wild, but we did a whole different episode on that, so we're going to steer away from Roadhouse here. Demolition Man has a abysmal 34 on Metacritic, so the average critic review is 3.5 out of 10, and that's that's astonishing. I mean, I can understand people saying this is a bad movie, but to give it a 3.5 out of 10 is just that's completely unfair.
Well, I mean, if you're rating it based on like what makes a good movie a good film, like I can understand you can't compare it to Forrest Gump and expect that same like that same range of rating. I think you have to take it in for what it is.
It doesn't have like the gravitas of film like Forrest Gump. You're gonna hear a lot of that clanking of the microphone there for a second. My apologies. Yeah, there's no way it's gonna be compared to Forrest Gump. I will say, however, this movie does have an excellent cast that includes Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock, Benjamin Bratt.
It's oh my god,
Dennis Leary is
Dennis
in it,
Leary
right?
is in it, and Rob Schneider, who had like a very small part in this movie, is like basically almost a cameo.
As did very young Jack Black as one of the like underground henchmen. You barely even see his face.
That's correct.
But it's like, oh, that's Jack Black, and then he went on to basically blow up later in the 90s. But this movie's 1993. I don't know why I thought it was later in the 90s.
Yeah, I thought 95 at least.
Yeah, I thought mid to late 90s, but it's 1993. I remember going to see the one of the press premieres for this. My mom took me to it, of course, because it's rated R action movie, and
your mom showed you the best movies.
she did.
So
she was just
so early on.
She was like, "I'm taking you to see all the shit that like you're not supposed to be seeing." But we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the trailer here. And we'll just see the trailer reaction, because I don't remember seeing the trailer for this.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've seen it.
Oh,
but
yeah. Do you want me to stay quiet while it's going on, or can we
No,
just
we can react to
crack
it.
wise?
Yeah, I probably have to pull the audio separately. I don't know if this will actually record,
right.
but I can jump out of it and we'll see.
Already.
Frozen and naked Sylvester Stallone is the first thing you see.
The music alone. Oh, and what a name. John Spartan.
Yeah, that's very masculine.
Oh god, that hooks you immediately.
The prisoners are ice cubes. Their criminal instincts.
It's basically been naked Sylvester Stallone
Oh yeah,
for
and he's
30 seconds.
his naked pose is bewildering.
He's in pain, which we find out later during the movie. Simon Phoenix, psychopathic killer.
The two best names already. How do you hate these characters? You can't. John Spartan and Simon Phoenix.
I'm gonna love running this place. But in the year 2032,
It's a great role for Wesley too.
Oh, you could tell he had a blast with
Yeah,
this.
he killed it.
amidst a world
That's the San Diego Convention Center. That's where we go to Comic-Con every year.
Ah,
How was the fiendish Simon Phoenix apprehended back in the 20th?
In the end, it took just one man, John Spartan.
This guy here too. This guy's you see him in every movie in the 90s.
yeah. They just dropped Sylvester Stallone out of a helicopter shooting a handgun. Of
course.
if that's going to be effective.
Of course. That's Sergeant John Spartan. He can do whatever he wants.
He's got great aim.
Pass is over, John. Time for something new and improved.
I did want that laser gun a lot, though.
Oh yeah.
that isn't big enough.
So did Simon Phoenix.
This is the opening scene where they demolish that building in downtown LA.
Wesley Snipes. Demolition Man.
Oh yeah. This makes me want to watch it again. But like, I mean, they had to start with that scene where he's blowing up a building, because they're like, his nickname's the Demolition Man. Here's why.
Yes, 100%. Like he puts the mission ahead of property damage concerns, and I loved that watching this as an adult. They go to LA, and LA is like a war-torn, dirty shithole.
It's like a place where Snake Plissken would have to escape from.
Yes,
at that
exactly.
point. Yeah.
And so it's like Simon Phoenix is just the biggest criminal in the world, and he happens to have a bunch of, I think it's kids that he has taken hostage at some point, and he's getting ready to basically, he's framing Spartan, but Spartan does his Demolition Man thing, kind of just like a bull in a china shop, and he takes the bait, and they both end up in cryo prison.
Well, it's funny because they were like he has this history. So this is for those of you that haven't seen this. John Spartan is the guy that every police chief loves and hates at the same time. It's that movie where you're the best cop on the force, but you're writing checks your ass can't cash. It's like you're
like John McClane.
Yeah, like John McClane. He's the guy that gets the job done, but at what cost? And so in this movie though, it costs him a lot. He now is sentenced to be cryogenically frozen for, I don't know, was it 90 years, 100 years, or whatever, however long it was.
It was a 70-year sentence.
70 years, because at this point the destruction has now caught up. His methods have caught up to him. He gets the job done. He saves the kids and the people. Actually, in this one, I don't think he saved those people.
He doesn't. The kids die, but you find out that Simon Phoenix has essentially killed all the kids already and left their bodies there to make it
till like the end.
Well, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen this movie, it's 30 years old. That's your fault. I think one of the most appealing things about this movie very early on is that they get through the main incident that lands them both in cryo prison, and then they jump like straight into like, here's the future tech, here's where we are with our prison sentencing. And the cryotech freezing stuff, that the way they designed that set, the way they told the story of like what actually is this cryo prison, I think is one of the strongest points in the film, in that it's a tangible near future.
Yes.
It's so even in 1993, you're like stories of like rich people like Walt Disney who have like cryogenically frozen themselves until some sort of cure comes out. So it's this technology that had kind of been in the vocabulary of science fiction for a long time, and we hadn't really like seen it on this scale. And the way that like the visual effects go along with the freezing process was always one of the things that I loved the most about this movie, especially later in the end where like the massive room freeze towards the finale.
Oh yeah, no, they did a great job of taking something that like, yeah, I mean, Walt Disney's doing it right now. His head's frozen somewhere, like, and just saying like, well, so again, for those, we're trying to get people to want to watch this movie. Basically, you have John Spartan, Simon Phoenix. They're both sentenced to be cryogenically frozen, which in 1993 we're like, yeah, we get it, we buy it, it can work, and then it gets to the point now they are both unfrozen around 2030, 2040, whatever it was. It's the future now.
It's the future.
So now basically you have the dirty, like, gets the job done, destruction everywhere cop of the 1990s and the over-the-top villain of the 1990s, but now they're in the future. That in a sense is there's your movie. That's Demolition Man. If you don't want to watch it after hearing that, then there's just you have no soul. But no, you're right about that. Cryogenically freezing criminals, for a sentence, that's like you can believe that in 1993. That's like, this is technology that we know in some way exists.
Yeah, there's no like flying cars or anything like that. It's something very substantive, and there's also a bit of smart writing in the design of that cryo prison system, in that the idea is for it to be this humane alternative for getting these people off the streets. It's like, you're not really living in prison, you're just frozen until your sentence is over. And then...
Which, by the way, like, that's what a great way to just, like, I guarantee you, if that was the case today for real, like, no criminals, I don't know, you either are a criminal that's like scared to death of that happening because then you're in a future that, like, I don't know what's going on, like, or you're the one that's like, hell yeah, I want to get, I want to live forever. I want to get in on this. I want to live in 2060. This is going to be amazing. So, that's already like, what a concept to really think about.
Yeah.
But you're right. No, the whole idea of it and the execution of that, like, you're pulled into the movie immediately within the first 15 minutes.
Yeah. In regards to that structure of the prison sentencing, there's a little like subtle thing that they don't dig into too much, But at some point, John Spartan is lecturing, I believe it's like the creator of the system or somebody who's strongly in favor of it, saying that he's
like a 20-year-old, by the way. Like that scientist was like 21 years old at the time.
And he's telling him, he's like, no, he's like, I wasn't asleep. He's like, I was awake the whole time. It was a waking nightmare.
Yeah.
So it's really this small, smart piece of ideology about how
I forgot about
these well-intentioned ideas often lead to these horrible outcomes.
Oh, man.
And so it's really this more cruel and inhumane form of torture than just putting him in prison for the 70 years.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. When they unfroze him and he says, and they're like, and they all assumed, no, he's just, like, it's an instant. Like, he wakes up and all of a sudden it's like a second later for him. No, he was conscious for that entire, like, 40 years like period.
So what that says is that system has never thawed anybody.
Oh my God.
Everybody that's ever been frozen in that criminal justice system has remained frozen to the point where no one's been woken up to tell them, I was awake the whole time, you assholes.
Oh my God. I take back what I just said. Like, if you implemented that now in the justice system, there would be no crime. Like, crime would cease. Every criminal would be like, I'm turning over a new leaf, I'm going to become a priest. Like, no one would ever want to get caught for a crime and have that happen to them.
You're right. But the upside is that he's thought out in perfect physical condition, equal to his physical prime when he was in the 90s.
First of all, he didn't need to be frozen to keep that physical condition.
He didn't. Stallone is still in shape
still
like that.
Looks that way now.
Stallone's like 80 years old right now, and he's still making Rocky movies. So,
the freezing process was good to him.
Before we go any further, this episode of Bad Movies We Love is brought to you by MindMeld, the new social network designed specifically to interface with your cerebral cortex. Minimally invasive, MindMeld's patented CNS bypass module plugs directly into your brainstem, allowing for a completely hands-free interface. As an added bonus, MindMeld's proprietary technology allows you to access all the untapped areas of your brain. Share your unfunny musings, photos, feelings, and even memories to your network with only a thought. The days of scrolling the timeline are over as MindMeld puts you at the epicenter of social content creation from around the world. For just $1,000 a year, you can avoid having to rely on local Wi-Fi and cellular by joining MindMeld's independent global mobile network for instantaneous sharing no matter where you access their service. Sharing is also hardwired as the neural handshake feature also allows you to upload and download locally through any tactile connection with no cross-chatter, no buffering, and no lag. MindMeld. Upgrade your gray matter because one day it may matter. We're going to take a look at what that physical prime means for Simon Phoenix as he is...
Oh, that's one thing we didn't start talking about either. Simon
Wesley
Phoenix. Snipes.
Yeah, we'll get to him. We're going to get to him right now. He, during the freezing process, another small piece of like science fiction writing that I thought was really smart was the alteration of... I don't know if they were altering their DNA, but it was similar to the Matrix in that they're forced downloading information into them. And so as the story unravels, you find out that John Spartan, because he's this big hulking egomaniac, Hulkamaniac.
He's just a giant meathead is what they're assuming. Like, this guy just wants muscles.
Yeah, so they teach him how to like sew, and they teach him a lot of like home ec stuff while he's frozen. But Simon Phoenix, the system is being worked from the inside, and he's getting upgraded with all the good stuff. So we're gonna take a look at what it looks like when he pops out for the first time, getting unfrozen, and I believe in the streets of San Angeles.
San Angeles, that's right.
With some brand new computer hacking skills. I like the subtleness of the what's it called, Metrochromia.
Oh yeah, I love how there's just computers on the street for public use.
Yep, it's like an ATM, but just access all public information.
Come on, Hal. Where the goddamn guns?
Oh, that's okay. I completely forgot about that. My favorite part of this movie: if you curse in San Angeles in the future, you get a citation.
Think about where we're at right now in society. You say something wrong and...
I'm going to get to that point, actually. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
Way ahead of its time in its understanding of how this society that's supposedly built like the city on the hill of perfection is really like this rotting core of corruption.
Yeah, Simon... So like Nick was saying,
Protector in place.
It's part of
15 seconds left.
your rehabilitation when you're frozen, I guess, in this justice system is they just download information in your head to make you less, like, aggressive.
Yeah, so actual, like, rehabilitation.
Yes. But Simon Phoenix, somehow...
He got the military package.
Someone gave him downloaded information in his brain to make him even more dangerous.
Oh, I'm so scared.
God, this is Wesley's, like, this is one of Wesley's greatest roles. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah. It's rare that he got the ability to, like, flex his comedic muscles. Yeah. He's a very good comedic actor. So I think that's why I love this too, is like it's one of the only roles where he really like has this level of fun with it.
Oh, he was having a blast.
Or else.
He did something else recently that I can't quite remember, but he was great in it, and it was like his character was a comedy role.
Blade 3. That movie was hilarious.
For the wrong reasons. Let's do Blade 3 on a different episode of this show. So he's already killed some security guards and some scientists at the prison.
There you go.
He cut a guy's eyeball out in order to escape, and now he's about to whoop up some cops to some like funky Prince-like soundtrack.
And this is exactly why like critics hated it, which is why we love it. He's systematically taking out every single cop in this scene, but doing it in the most hilarious, funny way you've ever seen. And so critics didn't know what to make of this. They're like, what is this? An action movie? Is it a comedy? Is it a kids movie? What is this?
Yeah, the fight choreography is really good, though.
Yeah. To me, it's like, here's just a really dangerous guy having a really great time because he's a sociopath. That's what I took from this.
Yeah. See, talk about fighting down to your competition, right?
The best action movies has the villain that genuinely looks like they're having a good time just being a terrible person.
Like everything about it, from like the two different eye colors to the blonde mohawk to the orange sleeveless.
He's wearing overalls.
Yeah, yes. He's wearing denim overalls.
Denim overalls. Nothing says 1993 more than denim overalls.
He looks like he came from the 80s.
Well, it was the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. Now he's singing into the computer. He's having just a grand old time in this movie. Which, okay, another side note, the guy who I don't remember the actor's name, I'm usually really good with that. The guy who played the warden in Shawshank is also the warden in Demolition Man.
He's the police chief.
The police chief, yeah.
Yeah, but still same kind of like...
it's the same role. It's literally the same character.
Basically the same
just
character.
Uncorrupt.
So from that point on, they realize that they basically have to thaw out John Spartan in order to combat the kind of violence that Wesley Snipes and Simon Phoenix has now.
Well, let's actually, because that brings me to the real point here on why this movie is more relevant now. Okay, so the reason they have to thaw out John Spartan, I can never get over that name. The reason they have to thaw him out is because the police force of San Angeles in 2040, in the future, there is zero violent crime, so the police force, or anyone for that matter, the authorities have no idea how to deal with or how to handle violence from that era, the 1990s. And how relevant is that now, in that where you have a time that we grew up in when we were kids, the 90s, the 80s, where like you could get away with saying things. There was like, if you were a kid on the playground and someone was mouthing off and they got punched in the face, that was okay, because at the end of the day you're like, well, you probably shouldn't have been saying that. Now you got punched in the face. Like things that you could get away with that were just normal back then are now just you have the cancel culture, and you have just the sensitivity. While that can be great for a number of things, I'm really, for example, like being able to bust guys like Weinstein. You know, like that guy was getting away with shit that no one should ever get away with, and stuff like just racism in general. Like racism is now like, is the worst thing as it should be. But just little things like a kid, kids roughhousing, or kids, like to me, like we all experienced bullies as a kid. We've all experienced, stuff like that. But now it's, we as a society have just become so sensitive to that. It's like it has to be dealt with in the most, it has to be acknowledged and dealt with, and it's like, okay, we can't have bullies anywhere anymore. And it's like, now you have this movie where like that society has become real, like to the point where they don't know how to deal with violence. They don't know how, like this is normal stuff in the 90s. This is why they have to, unfreeze John Spartan. He knows how to deal with this. We have no idea how to deal with violence because it's like they've now eliminated it all from their society.
Yeah, there's that line. I can never remember the actor's name.
I hope I was coherent in that whole.
You were coherent.
ramble.
You were coherent enough. What is the actor's name? But he basically says, in order to catch a madman, Bill Cobbs. In order to catch a madman, and he's so old in this role that like he worked with John Spartan
back before he was frozen.
Before he was frozen, and you were right. The timeline is 2032. But it is interesting that this movie in '93 dealt with that subject matter that you're talking about, in that when Spartan is unfrozen, there's a lot of dialogue surrounding, like, you're a barbarian, you're a meathead, like, you used to wipe your ass with toilet paper.
That's
and
right.
Like, all of the ridiculousness of, like, masculinity being targeted in his character. And they
now it's toxic masculinity is what we call it these days.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like his character is an example of toxic
right,
masculinity.
No, I agree.
But yeah, they make a point of like, hey, as soon as you're unfrozen, we're going to lecture you on like all of the horrible things you did then. And our puritanical society is so much better now because it doesn't have any of those things. And, John Spartan makes his point of, I want to eat bad food when I want to eat. And Denis Leary's character is more directly tied to that element.
There was a reason
story.
they casted Denis Leary.
Yeah, Edgar Friendly. Another great name. Whoever came up with the names for these characters.
That guy should still be working in Hollywood.
Yeah,
I hope he still has a job.
Story's Robert Reneau and Peter Lenkov. So if those were the guys that came up with the characters, my hat's off, because those are some of the most memorable character names.
Oh, it has everything. Again, it has everything you want in a kid, like a teenager's action movie. But yeah, going back to that, like it's really looking back on it, they predicted it almost to a T, because it hasn't gotten to the point where we don't deal with violence anymore. But just comedians could joke about anything. And everyone knowing it's a joke, it's just, there was a lot more you can get away with back then, but now we don't tolerate any of it anymore. And while, again, I don't want to come off as if we should be getting away with a lot of with certain things, because I again, everything that needs to be addressed, I think has been put out into the open for us to acknowledge as a society. But there are things that I think it goes way too far. There's a lot of things about cancel culture that should not have a place in the things that do need to be addressed. And I think this is a movie that says, if we keep going down the extreme cancel culture line, this is the society we're going to become, where when shit really happens, we're not going to know how to deal with it, because we're too I guess prissy as a society now.
Not only that, but as you peel back the layers on this story, what you find is that the city on the hill, the perfect San Angeles society that has been created here, has created an underground society.
Ah, that's right. Led by Denis Leary.
Yes, led by Denis Leary, and it is Bob Gunton is Chief Earl in this. No, sorry, I'm looking at Nigel Hawthorne as Raymond Cocteau.
Raymond, oh my God, the names, it's just endless.
So this story is really pointing out that the sacrifices that are made in order to make San Angeles what it is really is this theocratic society. So it's like it's religion, but not exactly religion. Like it's not openly labeled as religion, but the guy walks around dressed like a priest, and he comes forth with like, here's the doctrine for how we're going to live in this society, and we're going to get rid of things like sin and things like salt and soda and things that are bad for you.
This is the guy now that the guy that Nick's talking about is the character that like is the president of everything.
Yeah, he's the architect of what San Angeles has become. And they don't really talk about like what's going on outside of the city, but they let you know that stuff got so bad that this guy's message of eliminating these kind of vices became very popular, and popular enough to create San Angeles. But what you find out is that this is not a free society.
Yeah.
And that the free people live underground. And I think there's a line that Denis Leary says. He's like, you come down here, you live free, maybe starve to death. So what that group of people is doing is stealing food throughout the movie. And John Spartan gets to see that, oh, these guys are supposedly the criminals, but no, they're really just hungry people.
They're just stealing bread. It's like, like a modern day Aladdin. Like, I just want to steal a loaf of bread.
And so Spartan has his eyes opened to kind of the dichotomy of what the society that he woke up in is really all about. And the longer it goes on, the more he associates with the people underground. He eats the
rat burger. The rat burgers.
It's the carne de rata.
And he was happy to eat it too.
It's the best burger I've had in years.
It's the best burger I've ever had.
I love that this movie is so much deeper than it gets credit for, but I'm going to read a couple of these bad reviews just because I think they're inaccurate, and I could understand watching it and maybe judging it too quickly and then just coming to the realization that I'm going to hate this movie because I've already put up my wall very early on in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not going to allow it to really have the kind of messages that come later on. And like the stuff that we were just talking about.
Well, that's the thing. You start watching it because it looks like a great time. But then you continue watching it because you see these things. And you're like, oh, wait a second. This is... Like, there's some thought put into this.
Yeah, something as simple as everything on the radio has just turned into commercials. It's old-time commercials is what they play because they're inoffensive. And they're just jingles that everybody remembers, and it's like that's what they sing the Oscar Mayer Wiener song.
So like I guess in this society, the only music that exists were old time commercial jingles, like the Jolly Green Giant song was one everyone loves to sing. Was one everyone was singing there, and so like that's a message. That's what a like societal like criticism.
It's the idea that artistry dies in this kind of lockdown.
Free thinking
society.
Is no more.
100%. So I'm going to read the worst ones in reverse order of how bad they are. So the first one is a score of 20. It says nearly
out of 100.
I think so. I mean,
okay.
The highest score is 80, so I'm guessing it's
it's got to be out of 100.
Out of 100, yeah.
Wow.
Nearly all the SF, so what is that, San Francisco?
San Franciscans?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the SF premises are accorded to the status of Andrew Dice Clay one-liners, which means that they, along with the characters, keep changing from one scene to the next. So I don't know what that even means.
I don't know what that guy's talking about. He needs to be a little more coherent
before
I can take his criticism seriously.
Yeah, so this is from Peter Travers, who is a well-known, well-respected critic. He says, Demolition Man is sleek and empty as well as brutal and pointless. It's not empty, though, and it's not
When did he write that?
I would assume probably sometime around the time that the movie came out. Because for him to watch it now and do it would be very strange.
I just think that if you're reviewing it at that time, and you review it now, watch it now, review it now, you're going to start seeing things that you didn't notice. And I think Peter Travers would definitely start noticing things like, oh, wait a second, a lot of this stuff's happening right now.
I think he would have to. I mean, but to give it a 25 is very low.
Again, at the time, I understand why critics hated it.
Okay, so this is James Berardinelli. Says, yes, this film is worse than Cliffhanger.
Whoa.
Stallone's last venture into chaos. And no, this movie is not worse than Cliffhanger.
Whoa.
Cliffhanger
was one scene. After that opening scene, you don't have to watch the rest of the movie.
Yeah, Cliffhanger is a tense thriller that knows what it is. and basically stays on course and like doesn't really veer off course. Like Demolition Man is trying to do a lot of things at once, and so I could see maybe it's spread its energy a little bit too thin. It doesn't hit this point very well. It doesn't hit this point very well. But like this is not like a coherent criticism of what the film is. I think this one above is a little bit more in line.
Okay.
And this is looks like it was in Time magazine. Ultimately, the script's often sharp social satire is drowned out by the noise and confusion. Okay, so that's a legitimate criticism.
He acknowledges that there's social satire, though.
Yeah, and
So-
criticism. He's like, okay, so it's like this stuff is there, but ultimately it gets drowned out by the action and ultimately, you know, the spectacle of the movie.
How do we have fun? Like, that's the thing. Like, it sounds like these people don't like having fun watching a movie. And I think me and you
critics
have
are
had,
like that sometimes.
Yeah, no, me and you have this conversation a lot. You know, I tell you about movies that I liked and had fun with, but I acknowledge it's not very good. And it's like, you're allowed to have fun.
I watched one of those last night.
Well,
Oh, we got how's the end music coming on already? Whatever, I'm gonna edit this out in post.
no, keep it in.
No, this goes at the end. I mean, I like it and everything, but
But yeah,
Oh,
no,
that's right, we had to
we
go
can
back.
we can pick up right where I said I know exactly where to pick up. Is it still going?
yeah, we're good.
Okay, so
it didn't stop recording.
Like me and you talk about this all the time. There are movies that I enjoy because they're fun, but I do acknowledge it's not very good. I know how to enjoy a movie that's not very good when you have the elements of enjoyment in it. And I think this is one of those movies, like you're allowed to have fun watching a movie. You're absolutely allowed to have fun with things like Wesley Snipes acting a fool while he's taking out all of the cops that are there to apprehend him, and there's just music playing that's like it's like old 90s like break dancing music, and
It sounded like Prince was messing around in the studio or something.
that's right. It was the fight scene choreographed by Prince, but it was fun to watch, and because you felt how much fun Wesley was having filming that scene and having, and you're allowed to have a good time, but I think if you're a critic, you have to criticize those elements of fun because they're not Oscar worthy moments, and they're not supposed to be. I think nowadays we're acknowledging that there are movies that are strictly just a good time.
Yeah, and I think just look at what we've spent the majority of this conversation talking about. It has been the social satire criticism elements of the movie, much more so than the crazy action stuff. So it's like that's actually the stuff that stuck with me and made me like
Yes.
this movie. And it's like, sure, it is an action movie, and it is got a good cast that I like, and it's funny, and it has all these other things that I like, but the stuff that actually makes me love this movie is its grounded, realistic approach to what the future looks like.
What it could very well be. And you know what? There is an element that we haven't even talked about yet that plays into this perfectly. Okay, so in the future, okay, folks. So here we go with, if you haven't seen this movie, here's another reason to watch it. In the future, there is only one restaurant that exists. Okay, there's nowadays you can eat at literally a million different restaurants. In the future, there's only one that exists. Taco Bell is the only restaurant that you can eat at anywhere in this society, and so there's your element of fun. There's your element that it'll cause you to chuckle, laugh. Critics will probably be like, well, there's the product placement, right there. This is stupid.
Hey,
But
somebody's got to pay the bills.
of course, you know what?
Might as well be Taco Bell.
Bell made a killing, I'm sure, when this movie came out.
Taco Bell is so good
They're
that it
still making
gives
a killing.
all of us diarrhea, and we still
geez.
eat it.
It's the shits.
It is the cause of burning buttholes everywhere. But at the same time, their explanation for it was very brief. It was the
Survive the franchise
What
wars.
did the franchise wars? Which I don't know about you, but in the way like capitalism and the way all of that works out, it's like, can you really not believe that there will one day be a franchise wars? with the way, like, you know, there's in the cutthroat world of of marketing and competition, healthy competition.
I mean, it's essentially happened already.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Walmart is the second largest employer in the country. You look at what Amazon has done to the retail business. Like this is very much spot on. It's like maybe it's not happening in the restaurant industry, but the closure of the kind of mom and pop restaurant, the closure of the small business in favor of big franchises is 100% accurate.
It's going to get to the point now where you dine through Amazon.
It's getting there.
Yeah, and I think we can laugh about Taco Bell being the only restaurant in the future, okay? But then 30 years later, it's happening. It looks like it's happening with Amazon. Amazon basically at this point, you're just buying everything through that platform. And so it's again, what a social satire, but one that is getting strangely close to actually coming into fruition. Not to the point where Taco Bell is going to be the only restaurant, of course, but
hopefully not.
But we're getting to a point now where a lot of this stuff is starting to look familiar.
Yeah, 100%, and that's going to lead me into the next clip I want to watch. It's Spartan's first introduction into the new police department.
Oh, is this where he goes to the bathroom?
I believe so. But I think there's more to it than that that I also wanted to point out.
Sir, I formally convey my
Right here.
presence.
Yes.
He's disgusted that he touched him because physical contact.
We are
I
not
didn't want to
used
give
to
him a high
physical
five.
contact greetings.
Germs.
Look, I don't know if you guys know it, but you're out of toilet paper.
Did you say toilet
But that little
paper?
high five right there,
Oh,
they're so
They
afraid of
use-
germs.
They're so afraid.
that they
Yes,
don't touch
there
each
you go.
other.
There's another one. That, you know, like you
happy
can't
that
touch
you're happy,
anybody
but the place
in this
where you're supposed
society
to have the toilet
because
paper,
everyone's
you got
a
this little shelf,
germaphobe,
3
which
seashells on it.
I'm assuming happened with the Purell,
doesn't know
the
how to
Purell
use the
like
3 seashells.
mentality, and we're getting there. We're getting there, folks.
I can see how that could be confusing.
I still want an explanation on
Is
the
that
3
you,
seashells.
Oh, we'll never get it. But that's I don't want to know. I love that they left that open ended.
No, I want the
That's
screenwriter
him?
like on his deathbed to be like, "This is what we envisioned." You just scoop the crap out of your ass.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're talking about here is that I guess in
remember
this
you
in this
were
future,
snot-nosed
toilet
little
paper
fuck.
doesn't exist.
They
But
finally
John
grounded me.
Spartan says all I saw were 3 seashells, and apparently you're supposed to clean up using these 3 seashells, and they never explain how.
Yeah, and he gets laughed at for even like
For not
questioning
knowing.
it.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe in my mind I envisioned kind of like, you know, when you're at a ball game and you get the malt cup, the
wooden
ice cream.
spoon?
Yeah, so like, yeah, you ever try to eat that? You try to scoop the ice cream with that wooden spoon. That's how I envisioned
Tell me
it.
you scrape the crap out of your ass with the shells.
I just envisioned the seashells the way we would use a wooden spoon in a malt cup, at a malt cup. That's there's no other way to really think about
That's
it.
not a good sales pitch. It's like you're gonna, and then they're reusable too, right? Everybody's using these seashells. Oh, it's going right into the action scene.
Oh, boy.
No, I'm gonna pause that for a second. So that in that introduction, you see a lot more of the stuff as well, and I think ultimately, you know, the people that are critical of it for it not maybe going like all in on its social criticism aspects, it's like this movie A would never get made today, and B, it probably wouldn't have get financed then if you go into your pitch meeting and you're like, yeah, we have this idea for like a Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone futuristic cop movie where all we do is lay out social criticism, and yeah, there's some crime and stuff involved, but we're going to tone down the action, there's going to be no humor, and it's going to be this like heavy hitting thing. Like the 90s was a great time for spec scripts and stuff, but I'm not interested in the movie that I just pitched.
No,
but if you
no.
tell me like, look, we got Wesley Snipes on board, we got Sylvester Stallone. This is going to be
This was
an
Sandra
action
Bullock, I
police
think.
drama.
This was before or after Speed?
I think it was before. I think Speed was
Okay, I was gonna say
94.
you got Sandra Bullock, you got Benjamin Bratt. Like
Sandra Bullock is great in this movie.
she is. Oh God, she's such just an innocent little lamb in this movie. But it makes you like
Lenina Huxley.
and Lenina Huxley. Which, by the way, when you think about it, Huxley Okay, what's the
Aldous Huxley, the author?
Yeah, the author of what story? Now it was
was it Babylon?
I want to say
Babylon?
was it Metropolis? Oh, no. Basically, I'd like to
you're on the right track.
Yeah, I'd like to think
he's
that
the author of Doors of Perception, which I have. But
the name I think has everything to do. Like that was done on purpose.
Brave New World.
Brave New World.
Yes,
see, there
definitely
you go.
Done on purpose.
That was done on purpose. Look at you don't name one of your characters Huxley and the author of this whole like utopian society that like just like Brave New World, and then make this movie like that was absolutely done on purpose.
Okay, yeah, you can tell it influenced what this is because Brave New World is similar in that it's like this society, but there's like a caste system involved.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing. I think it's to the point where I'm pretty sure like the writers were they came back in time. Like they came back to warn us all, through Demolition Man.
Yeah, they're like, look, if you continue down this road of like puritanical nonsense and just basically criminalizing all of the elements of life that make life enjoyable, like that's no way for anybody to live. And it's like, sure, you don't have crime, but you don't have anything else either.
Let comedians tell whatever jokes they want as long as we all recognize their jokes. Let Mel Gibson make his movies that offend everybody. Like, let people be as creative as they want to be, because at the end of the day, it's like you have a choice as an audience member to either take it in or reject it. But those of us that are willing to reject it have to just be like, okay, I'm just walking away. And it's the same thing with this movie. A lot of people walked away from this movie, but at no point did anyone start picketing the movie. Like it's everyone's choice to take in or reject something that's presented to them. And I think that's what this, like, the society that they're portraying here is saying, like, well, you know what we're doing? Instead of allowing that to happen, we're just going to eliminate everything so that no one is offended at any time, at any point. Of being offended is now eliminated from society. But look at what cost. And I think those of people in society that are, and we all know them. We all know the perennially offended. Yeah. This is the society that they're pitching, but when you look at it, it's the worst place in the world to live.
Yeah, I want to see if I can find this is the Edgar Friendly speech. I'll pull that up.
Denis Leary was cast here on purpose because if you haven't heard Denis Leary's like stand-up comedy,
he talks about buckets of cheese, and I'm like, I'm in. I like buckets
basically
of cheese.
it's libertarian comedy, which like we all can get on board with a lot of those concepts.
Yeah, it's more about like his position here is about like being able to have a free society and the value of a free society, and just understanding that like there are risks that are going to come with it, but the risk is worth the reward.
Yes.
Before we get there, though, I'm going to get into a couple of other reviews that I wanted to point out.
Yeah,
this one from the Austin Chronicle I like because it's a 50, so they gave it a 5 out of 10.
All right.
But listen to the review. It says, the script is fueled by genuine wit, everyone turns in fine performances, and beginning to end, the film actually shows some thought, if little originality. That's a positive review, but you still gave it a 5 out of 10. Like, that's actually solid.
Critics were afraid to like this movie. I think that's what it was.
They're going to fire me if I like this.
Yeah, it's like, this was, again...
That's why I have my own website and write my own reviews.
Bingo, and I think that's what everyone else is doing too. But like, as a critic, you are not supposed to have fun with movies that are not Oscar worthy. It's just it's a crime.
It is. So here's TV Guide magazine. So now we've gone through all the reputable sources and we've landed at TV Guide magazine. The pleasant surprise about Demolition Man is that both the script and Stallone are funny. The film blends big-budget action and tongue-in-cheek humor in a way that Last Action Hero tried and failed to do.
That was another movie that we brought up, like what we might want to talk about was Last Action Hero. But yes, this is the whole notion of this is where we're going as a society if we don't slow down is like it's behind this amazingly fun just action hero cop versus over-the-top villain, and that conflict and the humor in that conflict is like that's the best part about this movie, honestly, for me, because you're You're at the end of the day, you're watching a movie. You're watching an action movie. You want these messages and these themes, but you have fun with John Spartan and Simon Phoenix. For the love of God, those are their names. Those are their names. Those are their God-given names. And in this movie, they're going head. What are the odds a detective named John Spartan and a criminal named Simon Phoenix encounter each other and fight each other? That is exactly what I want. That's the action movie that I want to watch. And if anyone can't handle that, then you are soulless. You have no soul. You have no soul, okay?
I will say, if you remove the social satire, if you remove the sci-fi elements and the future setting, this movie is basically like in line with Lethal Weapon and a ton of other cop action movies.
Lethal Weapon in the most over-the-top way. His nickname is the Demolition Man. It is a cop that works in Los Angeles. They call the Demolition Man because every time he saves a child from a criminal, the building explodes or a car just explodes. That's the action movie I want to see. I don't know about you. I'm sure Jack Ryan and the Bourne Identity are great movies, and they are. But at the end of the day, man, like, you watch a building explode while Sylvester Stallone does the slow walk away from the fire, holding a 7-year-old girl in his arms and gives her back to her parents. Why is that a bad thing? Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I just don't like. It doesn't have. It's not that dissimilar from other successful police action movies of the same era. It's just that it's so unfamiliar with the sci-fi setting. Like most of the time when a sci-fi movie like this was getting made in this era, it was like a B movie. It didn't have like A-listers in it. So it's like it's a little weird that these guys are in this movie at this time. But the audience, for the most part, is very receptive of this film. It's just kind of like some of the pedantic critics that didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the last one from Empire, and then I'm going to get to the Edgar Friendly speech that really embodies like what the movie is about. So like what I was saying earlier is like, if you watch this movie and quit on it early and just walked out and wrote your review because you didn't like the first 20 minutes, you never get to the point.
The first 20 minutes is amazing.
Yeah, but you never get to the point where the film's substance like takes center stage. Like, if you don't hear the speech from Edgar Friendly, that's all of those moments that we talked about in terms of the cultural commentary that's being made here.
Yeah,
takes the center stage of the film at that point. So if you quit and you walk out, you don't ever get to it. So I could see why somebody would say like, it's empty, right? Because you didn't watch the whole movie. You quit at the part where you thought it was empty. And I think, honestly, a lot of critics do this. When I hear about movies getting screened at Cannes and stuff, and people just get up and walk out because it's like, oh, it's Lars von Trier.
You should never be allowed to write a review on that movie.
Yeah.
But we do this all the time. People do this all the time.
Quick to judge.
How many people, I don't like when you're airing this, I don't know when you're airing this, but basically like She-Hulk just came out on Disney Plus. Yeah. How many people said it was a terrible show before yesterday or whenever it was released?
A lot. I heard nothing but bad things about it.
Before the show even aired. Mm-hmm. Like, we do this all the time. We review it before we view it. And why do we do that? Like, with us, we were gonna watch Top Gun Maverick well before we heard it was gonna be we knew it was a good movie.
Yeah,
we have to watch this movie.
There's no way we can't watch it.
But we were under the impression this could potentially be a terrible movie. But we were gonna watch it anyway. But I think it's like, just watch it. You don't know what's gonna happen. You know?
Yeah, and you see, at least with what happened with Top Gun, is that the word of mouth is so strong that it's now in the top 10 highest grossing films of all time.
Is it really top 10?
Yeah, it just broke. I think it just went into number 9.
Wow, I'm happy
this
to hear
week.
That.
It's still in theaters in a couple of places, so it's had a nice run. I mean, we want to wait till it comes home, but I mean, we haven't seen it in a while. We saw it 3 times. But the first Top Gun would be a good movie for this show because we still love it.
We all love it, though.
Yeah, and it's like, but I guarantee it's got some bad scores in some areas. But anyway, I'm going to get to the last review here from Empire. It says, if there ever was a movie equivalent to the one night stand that this is it. Not necessarily something you'll remember next day, but fast, furious, and damn good fun while it lasts. So this
How
is
about you? I remembered it the
30
last
years
30
later.
years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the most positive review that gave it an 8 out of 10 actually said this
And that was Empire,
This
too.
is mostly forgettable, right? And so I think all of these reviews just like don't really understand what the film is.
Well, again, these were written back when the movie came out. They didn't realize, like, holy shit, this is actually happening. Like,
yeah, I mean, I personally don't score films anymore when I review them because it's like, you know, I at one point I had like graph paper and I'm like, all right, so this is like the cinematography is a 10 and the acting's a 10, but maybe the sound mix is not great and the script isn't great. And then it's like I'm trying to aggregate all that. I'm like, it doesn't even matter. Like, did I like it or not? Would I recommend it to somebody? And
that's all that matters.
What's a similar film that if you liked it, I could point you to?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like how
That's all that matters.
I shifted my perception, and I've had a much better time writing about film since then. But we're gonna get to the Edgar-friendly speech
this is,
right now.
Dennis Leary, the leader of the underground free people. Okay.
Hand over the glow rod. Your friends too. Come on, move. You got balls, cop, coming down here after the
Jack
show you
Black's
put
in
on.
this scene somewhere.
I gotta look for him. I totally forgot.
Can you help or just bully us with your primitive weapons?
That's a sawed-off shotgun?
Yeah, way sawed off.
Well, maybe they're not so primitive.
So you think you're taking me in, huh? Guess what? Not happening. You tell Cocteau he can kiss my ass. Yeah, that's right. You tell Cocteau it's going to take an army of assholes to get rid of me because I don't give a shit. I got nothing to lose.
I don't want to rain on your parade, pal. But I don't know who the hell you are, let alone want to take you anywhere. So stay here, be well, and Cocteau's an asshole.
There he is.
Oh, that is. I gotta see that again.
You're only down here to spy on us.
Wait a minute. You're the guy outside Taco Bell.
Yeah. What do you want?
I guess you weren't part of the Cocteau plan.
The more they keep saying his name,
Deception.
Cocteau, I
That's
just.
no plan.
It's like, how do you take that seriously?
Right.
That's why everybody's
That's
down
why
here?
he's dressed like a
Got that right.
penis.
He looks like a
According to Cocteau's
penis.
plan,
That's 100% true.
Because I like to think. I like to read. I'm into freedom of speech and freedom of choice. I'm the kind of guy that likes to sit in a greasy spoon and wonder, gee.
Oh, this is taken right from his own like comedy routine.
I want to eat bacon and butter and buckets of cheese.
Buckets of
I want to
cheese.
smoke a Cuban cigar the size of Cincinnati in the non-smoking section. I want to run.
Don't smoke in the
non-smoking
non-smoking
with green
section.
Jello all over my body, reading Playboy magazine. Why? Because I suddenly might feel the need to. Okay, pal? I've seen the future. You know what it is? It's a 47-year-old virgin sitting around in his beige pajamas, drinking a banana broccoli shake, singing "I'm an Oscar Mayer wiener." You live up top, you live Cocteau's way. What he wants, when he wants, how he wants. Your other choice, come down here, maybe starve to death.
This is the reason
Then
Dennis
why don't
Leary's in
you
this
take
movie.
charge and get these
Yeah.
people out of here?
That is
I'm no leader.
literally his entire comedy
What I have
routine.
to do. Sometimes people come with me.
What do you say, 47-year-old virgin sitting around in your mom's basement, drinking broccoli smoothies, singing I'm an Oscar Mayer wiener.
I think he wants to kill you.
God, there's so many sparks and and steam.
Yeah, they're
coming out.
underground. I don't know why there's sparks all over the place. It doesn't seem like the safest place
here's
to
the best way to
hold that
yeah,
conversation. I'll tell that guy to shut up.
Oh boy, no.
Watch
It looks like what I don't know. Here's another movie like the Super Mario Brothers movie that looks like the.
Oh, we're gonna have to come back and do an episode on that movie.
It looks like the Mushroom Kingdom in that movie is what this underground city looks like. Oh, actually, it looks like Mars in Total Recall. That's
A
the
little
best way I
bit.
can describe it.
Yeah, definitely. Like very industrial, utilitarian, but like not very clean at all.
Oh no, yeah, it's just a homeless society. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that brings us to an hour basically, and that speech from Denis Leary really sums up like what the core of this film is behind all of the brawn, behind all the explosions and gunfire, and I mean there is a car chase, but it's not really like the focal point, but it really is this story of a society that has spiraled out of control with its controlling theocratic nature. And so we see that a lot right now, where some religious zealotry drives certain political ideologies and takes away freedom in the name of lifting up this other way of life that, you know.
Basically, if we were to cater to those who are just always speaking out against offensive material, if we cater to them, this is what we're going to end up with.
I want to be offended. I want to find out like where that limit is. So it's like I always want the weirdest, most disturbing thing so that I can be like, oh, did that really like push me beyond the edge or not?
I just think that, you know, like it just comes down to, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Don't listen to it. Don't take it in. You're not required to do anything you don't want to do when it comes to like creative arts. And so the movie that you deem is inappropriate, well then just don't watch it and don't let your kids watch it. You know, it's not for you to say whether someone else does. And that's what Denis Leary is saying. Like, if I want to smoke a black Cuban cigar for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'm going to do it. And for you to tell me that I shouldn't, or, you know, can't do it because it's not good for me, well, that's not your decision. And so I think
it's a good point.
Yeah, that makes that in it of itself is really what they're saying is we are allowed to like and take in what makes us happy, as long as it doesn't harm another person, as long as it doesn't make a direct effect to another person.
Yes.
And I feel that that's like, if a same-sex couple wants to marry each other, why does that matter to a family of 4 in Podunk that doesn't believe in same-sex marriage?
Because some bad parent is going to have to explain homosexuality to their kid, and they don't know how.
I'll do it.
And they're intolerant, so they don't want to.
I'll explain it to them if you don't want to. But the point is that, like, you know, you are allowed. You should be able to endure what makes you happy, and for you to have to cater to those that don't like that for anyone. This is the direction we're going in, and it's not a fun society. It's run by a guy named Cocteau. Okay, they must have
He's
said
a prick.
Yeah, they must have said his name in this scene at least 15 times.
Said bury him up to his neck and shit and let him think happy thoughts forever. I mean, that's it, man. It's about freedom, as William Wallace screams at some point in Braveheart when he's getting disemboweled. But I mean, that's the movie in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, this is one of my absolute favorite films.
Oh,
If I had to make a top 10 list, I could definitely think of better films to include in a top 10 list.
It's not winning any awards.
It's not going to win any awards, but it won my heart, and I love this fucking movie, and I've seen it a ton.
Simon Phoenix it's these two characters will win you over. I guarantee if you haven't seen this movie, watch it. These two the antagonist, the protagonist, the hero, the villain, it couldn't have been any better with these two.
Yeah, and I will say also, Sandra Bullock's character has a good story arc. Like, she starts as this kind of like naive historian on the 90s.
That's right.
And as she's exposed more and more, she realizes like that this is not the error of her ways, and she takes charge, and she becomes like a significant part of what's happening in the story. So at least they took a future character and like gave them an arc to follow through on.
Yeah, and if you think Sandra Bullock is super hot even till now, like this was young Sandra Bullock before Speed. This was Sandra Bullock in her like early 20s.
Yeah, I think it's one of, if not her first roles. I'm gonna peep that out real quick. Wow,
this was like Sandra Bullock at her like in her prime.
She's had a long prime.
Yeah,
we just saw Lost City, and she's still very good.
This
in
is
it.
the beginning of her prime. I'll rephrase.
Let's see. She did.
So,
she
you'll
did
fall
a
in
little
love
bit
with
of
her.
stuff. This was her breakout role, though. I think for sure.
I love that Demolition Man is anyone's breakout role.
Because after this, it was Speed, and then she did While You Were Sleeping.
Because I like to think
that.
Speed was her breakout.
Yeah, I mean, it probably was.
But Demolition Man was her first like major.
I mean, she's with two like big time A-listers.
You're acting alongside Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
We didn't even get into the whole like weird cyber sex they have in this society.
Yeah, it's
In the no-touch society where there's no germs.
How do you have sex if you're not allowed if you don't want to touch anybody?
Yeah. Do you know what sex leads to? He's like, yes, smoking, the desire to raid the fridge, kids.
It's so we'll leave that to those that haven't seen the movie. Just out of morbid curiosity, how do you have sex without touching your partner? And this movie lets you know how it's done.
Yeah, the internet's taking care of that now for a lot of people. All right, well, anyway, like I said, I love this freaking movie. I've seen it a ton. I showed my girlfriend who had never seen it, and she liked it too. And I've been exposing her to more and more of this kind of like just crazy stuff that got made in the 90s because there was more willingness to take a stab at something like this. And so we both had a good time with it.
Which is the important thing. You're allowed to have fun with the ridiculousness. You're allowed to.
And I think maybe now, too, because of the message it has, it might resonate with people who haven't seen it more.
Oh, yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, I'll give this like my highest endorsement possible. I love this movie. I've seen it a ton. Is there anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Just, if you get scared away with any elements of a movie that is not that basically is tongue in cheek, like you're doing it wrong, I think you should embrace what is being presented to you, because this is a movie that knows exactly what it is, and it knows that it's tongue in cheek. It tries to be tongue in cheek. So if you just go along with it, you will have a good time, and that's what watching a movie is about, is having fun, having a good time watching it. You know, some movies are made for crying, some movies are made for fear's sake. This movie was made for you to just I think the term is a roller coaster ride of a film. You're getting that with Wesley Snipes. Oh my God, Wesley Snipes in a bleached blonde mohawk and overalls, wearing an orange shirt underneath. I'm trying to paint this picture for you.
And he's whooping everyone's ass.
He's whooping everyone's ass. Oh, there's not an ass he doesn't whoop in this movie. So, you're allowed to have fun with that portrayal, and you will.
Is there anything you want to plug while you're here?
I mean, if anyone is a toy collector, I work in Entertainment Earth, and entertainmentearth.com. We sell
collectibles,
adults,
right?
Their toys.
You sell Demolition Man toys, I bet,
God,
don't you?
I wish we did.
You don't?
Honestly,
oh, man.
NECA, I don't know if they've ever made them.
I'm gonna have to find them.
If NECA, because they're the only company, I think the only vendor that would make that kind of make those kind of figures. I think the only reason they haven't is because this movie it's been super buried for a long time.
It needs a resurgence. If you're listening to this, find whatever streaming service it's on. Let me see if I can.
It's on Hulu, actually.
It's on Hulu
it's
right
on
now?
Hulu.
There
Everyone has Hulu.
Everyone has Hulu. Hulu doesn't just have live sports, okay? It doesn't say right here, but okay, I do see. Watch on Hulu right now. Watch on the Hulu app. Confirmed, it's on Hulu. So seriously, if you have Hulu, you've never seen this movie, you know all these names, and you want to see what this kind of idea looks like in actuality, if you liked hearing us talk about it, check this movie out. It's fucking awesome.
All right, guys.
All right, thanks everybody for listening. Have a good one. We're going to go watch some guys punch each other in the face. Take care. Thanks again to Erikson for stopping by the studio and bringing a wonderful movie like Demolition Man to the table. As you could probably hear, the audio fidelity was much better than Season 1, Episode 1, but having people in the studio will do that. I still believe that word of mouth is the best way to help, so if you like the show, please tell somebody. But another good way to help is liking, subscribing, rating the podcast. That goes a long way as well. If there's a bad movie you love and you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can reach out to me at info@thesheist.com or Bad Movies We Love, that's LUV, on Twitter. And until next time, stay safe, be well, and have fun no matter how you get your movies.